Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
Welcome, everybody, to Suck It. I am the great and powerful Prince of all that is awesome, the King of Kings, Derek. How the fuck is everybody tonight? I hope that we're enjoying our Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's been a long damn week, and I am so glad to get to the fucking weekend. And just to close out the week right, we're going to have an awesome little, awesome guest tonight. Ashley Brinton is going to be on with us, a.k.a. AB, a new up-and-coming rapper. Very, very excited to talk to her. So we'll get right to that here in a second. But, guys, first I just want to go ahead and, again, let everybody know, just remember mental health is important. And, regardless of what we've been through this week, keep your head on straight and make sure that when we see something, we say something. And what I mean, see something within yourself. So, we're about to get into the weekend. Let's close it out right. And let's close it out on a good note. And please welcome to the show, AB. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Now that my camera just popped out on me. Hold on a second.
Oh, no worries. Honestly, I have so many technical difficulties all the time. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, my USB cable's usually loose for some reason. I got to get a new one. And it's a brand new camera too, but whatever. Either way, I can still talk to you while I'm fixing this piece of the puzzle. So how are you tonight?
I'm really, really good. I'm in Florida right now.
We're in Florida.
There you are. Do you know Florida well or not that well?
Well, I do. I lived in Florida for 27 years.
No way. Where?
I was actually in the Orlando area.
That's so sick. Yeah, no, I'm from Delray Beach-ish.
Okay. Yeah, my wife is actually from my wife is from Port St. Lucie. We lived in Orlando for a long time.
So nice up there.
Yep. She's actually there right now. She's been gone for 10 days. So I've had nobody in the house for 10 days. It's been fantastic.
Oh my God. Lit.
Yeah, she comes home tomorrow. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes. Yeah, we're in Virginia, which is really nice too. So.
I bet it's really pretty out there.
It is. We live in Northern Virginia, so right in the mountains and everything like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
So how is things going for you? You got some big things coming up. You had a new video released. So talk about who you are, and because my listener audience is a little bit different from what you're used to. If you can't tell by me, I'm a hipster douchebag metalhead guy. And that's usually what my audience is. So explain who you are. Tell everybody how you came up, because you have a very interesting story too. So I want everyone to know a little bit about you.
Yeah, no, that's so lit. So I grew up in South Florida. So I was always influenced by different cultures, and definitely a ton by the arts and stuff. And I just love rap. So I just came off a big tour that actually got postponed because of coronavirus. I got off the stage in Chicago and they were yeah, tour's postponed until we don't know. And so I've just been okay, well then I guess I'll just go and chill at home for a little while. So it's been really, really crazy. But yeah, I just dropped my new single and the video with Yella Beezy 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you've been influenced by a lot of different cultures, but you've always been, a rap fan. So what brought you to that that arena, and what made you decide to become an artist in that genre?
I think it just kind of came really naturally to me. Like every time I'd be in the car, like I just really rock with it. And then I just like be at home, like listening to beats, like coming up with like my own lyrics and like just like freestyling a ton. And it just kind of evolved. Like it was really just an evolution to myself. And yeah, I'm just like I love hearing like what my fans have to say. Like they're just so down and like so into it that it's really fun to like kind of collaborate and like see what direction I'm gonna go in next, you know?
I gotcha. So how did
Yeah.
you get your start in the business?
Um, I was like 9 years old and like I had been like doing a ton of like music stuff, just like any opportunity I had, like I would just take it like at the school, at the like local little things. So I'd like just love music like all around. And I just kind of like made this like little song and then I just put it up on YouTube and like this executive like contacted me and was like, the song really sucks, but like we love you and like we love your personality. And I was just like so young at the time. And then I just like started like working in that direction and like molding and like trying out all these different like genres and like just really deciding on like who I wanted to be as an artist. And that's kind of like what my fans like really influenced me to do is like just like go in the direction that I was feeling, you know?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, um, so with that being said, um, there's one in particular that kind of a certain person that I'm not going to name her name that kind of gives people like you in the business that have that similar style
Mhm.
comparisons. There's, so I read an article where they compared you to her. And again, I'm not gonna say her name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so with in all reality, I mean, she's been in the forefront for a while. So how do you feel about being that comparison?
Honestly, like I'm so in awe of the girls and like the women who have come before me in this industry. And like I just look up to them so much because the strength that it takes to be surrounded in a really male dominant industry, it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of perseverance and power. So like I love learning from them and like kind of just like learning their traits, to be strong and just keep on like pushing through and don't let anybody tell you no, like I hate it when people are like, no, you can't do this, because then I just want to do it more, and then so then I actually accomplish it and they're like, oh, congratulations. I'm like, you were the one who told me no in the beginning, so like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
so I'm
that's a great
yeah.
feeling. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great feeling. So I mean, and yeah, I mean, because I've listened to some of your music, and again, I'm not a rap fan, but I dig what you do.
Thank you.
And I have nothing ill to say. So I mean, I was very excited to talk to you about it. But again,
Thank you.
I mean, it's a you're you're bringing a different style to the rap genre, because I mean, for a long time it's kind of been mumble rap and a bunch of other things
Hmm.
that aren't that are marketable, yeah, but they're not
Yeah.
like the greatest thing in the world, and you've kind of brought back another style that kind of reminds me of 90s, which is actually
Thank
kind of
you.
complimentary, definitely
Yeah.
complimentary. So I do, admire you for that. But where do you see yourself going? I mean, what exactly is your plan?
My plan is to just really like get my music out there and to just like love what I do, because I just like see so many different people that are so unhappy in like their lives. And like I think that just waking up and loving what you do every day and understanding like sorry, my dog's here. Really,
That's fine.
say hi, baby girl. Yeah, but honestly, just like waking up happy every day and just loving what I do and keep on growing. Like, I always just love to push myself and keep on growing. Like, if you told me I was gonna be on like a Monson tour last year, I'd be like, ha ha ha, like so funny. Like, but if you just keep on working and taking every opportunity and just like pushing through, it's just like you're gonna grow.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, especially in the music industry.
Yeah.
And I mean, and being a woman in the music industry is even tougher.
Hmm.
Like you said before, it's a male-dominated industry, but and not just on the rap side, on the country side,
Yeah.
on the pop side, on the rock side, on
Hmm.
everywhere. And I was
Yeah.
actually talking with a drummer from another band out of Canada, a metal band, and we were talking about how people are saying, in America, rock is dead, but it's bigger everywhere else in the
No.
exactly. So yeah, exactly my point. But people say rock is dead, and it's huge in the in Europe and everywhere like that, even bigger than it is here. But we were talking about how a lot of the the front woman bands, women's that are women that lead those bands that are coming about right now in rap, excuse me, in rock, are kind of paving the way for tomorrow, and they're
Hmm.
getting bigger than some of the men, and it's really kind of cool to see that happen, and not just rap
Yeah,
and pop, but
for
in
sure.
rock as well. So I mean,
Hmm.
I think what you're doing is awesome, so definitely
Thank you.
don't give up on that, because you're, especially with the collaboration you just had, and that just came out. That's pretty cool too.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, was it? Are you
Hmm.
talking about
Shooting
now
the
the act?
video.
Yeah, the shooting video. Yeah, it looked like a fun. It looked like a fun video to be in.
Yeah.
So what have you guys talked about when you guys are going to start renewing the tour? Because I know in Florida, everything opened up, and then the numbers tripled, and now
Yeah.
everything's closing back up again, and like
Yep.
can't even serve alcohol anymore. I was talking to my mom today, and she's like, "Yeah, they can't even serve alcohol in bars anymore." Like,
It's honestly like
what
crazy.
the
Like
hell?
I came from LA. Like I was quarantined in LA for like 3 months right after the tour. And like I literally didn't leave the house. Like I go to Starbucks every day. Like I have like my little thing. Like I like to go out and get food with my friends and stuff. I did not leave the house. I didn't go to any friends' houses, like nowhere. And then I came to Florida and everything was open. There were like hundreds of people at each bar. And I was like, this is not going to go over well. And you know what? Like when the numbers skyrocketed, I was like, I told everyone, like I knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, the thing about
Yeah.
it is, I don't like to get political, but there's a reason why Florida opened so quickly. But
Oh, really?
yeah, oh yeah, it's the governor. He's best friends with Trump, and they were
Oh,
trying,
no.
yeah, and a lot of like sports venues and stuff like that were depending on reopening, so they were like, screw it, let's just go ahead and go for it, and then
Oh
that
my
did not
God,
work
that's
out very
so
well.
bad. That's
Did not work out very well at all.
so bad.
So other than the music video and the new single that you just released,
Yeah.
how have you been trying to stay relevant the last few months?
Honestly, I don't think it's ever like a question of staying relevant. Like I do what I do and like I have such like a strong fan base that they just kind of like keep up with me. Like I just always like am making content for them and always making videos for them. And it's like they just love like keeping up with me. So I don't know if it's like necessarily like staying relevant. I think it's just like necessarily like staying in touch with my fan base. But I did do like a cover of Press that I dropped. Like we shot the video in my house and everything. And it was super, it was like super cool. And like for the resources, like I ordered like these lights online and like it just turned out really dope. So yeah.
That's cool.
Just like
That's really
making a
cool.
ton of content for them.
Yeah, and I saw that you, if I'm not mistaken, you did a live Twitch show today.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that go?
It was super fun, like super fun. I just love like talking to people and especially now like being inside all the time, like I'm just so happy to talk to people and like just like
Yeah. But I mean, doing a performance live on Twitch or, on Zoom or whatever the
yeah,
case might be is nothing like being in front of people.
not honestly nothing. Like coming off
Nothing.
of tour was such an amazing experience. Like I dreamed about that so much since I was like little. like to actually be able to go out there and like go into the audience and like get all the energy from all the people. Like it was surreal, and I like nothing like I've ever experienced.
Who were you on tour with?
Maud's son.
I'm sorry, who you broke it up?
Maud's son.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's
that
really lit. And like honestly, it was just so much fun.
yeah. So you're looking forward to get back out there again, huh?
So I'm looking so forward to it. But I don't want to like I want to make sure it's safe before we go back out, you know?
And that's that's the question of the hour. And we talk to a lot of musicians on here because my normal co-host Nicole is actually from LA, and she's she's in a couple different rock bands out that way, and she does event promoting and stuff like that. So we've been talking every time we talk to a musician. It's kind of like say for instance the stuff that happens in Florida happens everywhere again, and everything does close back up again. And, so what if, hypothetically speaking, you can't go back on tour again?
Yeah.
So what do you think, hypothetically speaking, I mean, let's say the worst case scenario, what would you like to see where would you like to see the music industry go beyond this? I mean, do you think, studio concerts and then broadcasting them live on TV or, pay-per-view or whatever the case might be is going to be the option? Or do you think it's going to go back to a way to where you're just going to have to start putting out singles and people are going to have to start buying singles and albums again? I mean, so what do you think?
Well, I would love to see like the artists getting more than the bigger companies. Like I think that we really have an issue with like bigger companies taking a lot of the artists' money.
Yeah.
And like going on tour and selling merch and like selling concert tickets. Like that's the real way that artists make money, like not any other way. Like not through the music, even though that's like a labor of love and we all love that the most, but like it's not where we make our money. So I think that maybe kind of bringing it back to a place like, okay, we'll put on this super dope concert that we'll like we'll do visuals for and we'll film and like we'll invite 20 people, but we'll like put it out as a video instead.
So like doing little videos versus like a whole actual concert.
No, like doing a whole concert, but maybe having people like watch it online or like watching it on their TV and stuff like that, and kind of doing it that way. God forbid if we could never go on tour again.
Yeah.
So that's I mean, that's the only thing I can even think of.
Now, would you be satisfied if that was the case? I mean, would that be something that no, I mean, of course not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what else would, so what, and again, this is a relevant conversation because we really don't fucking know.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, so how would you, be able to interact with your fans? What would you do aside from, doing a pay-per-view event or whatever the case might be? How would you interact with your fans? I mean, what would you do to make sure that your fans still loved you?
I mean, I talk to them every day through social media. Like that's a great outlet that we can really, based off like I literally have friends texting me like 24/7, and like it's always like so much fun to interact with them. But there's nothing like being at a concert and like being surrounded by the energy of your fans,
Yeah. Oh, you're 100% right. I mean, I've been in the entertainment industry for 21 years. I mean, I was a touring guitarist for a couple of different bands, and I, went and did some, touring and stuff like that when I was in my teens and early 20s, and then I quit and became a professional wrestler, and I wrestled for 15 years. Yeah. Wrestled for 15 years. So I was in front of a crowd every weekend, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. And it was just sick. And now, I broke my neck 6 years ago. So now I've been a stand-up comedian ever since. So,
oh my God.
So, well, it was a car accident. I wasn't in the ring when it happened, thankfully. So no, I broke my neck in a car accident, and now I've been, doing stand-up and stuff like that. And, I missed that. I mean, if it wasn't for this podcast, I wouldn't have anything going on for right now. And, the podcast has been my outlet, because I mean, I know I can practice jokes on you, whether you realize it or not, or I can practice jokes on my
Yeah.
co-host. You know, I've also done some Zoom comedy shows and stuff like that, and but it's not the same, and I miss it. I cannot
Yeah.
wait for this to really be over and get in front of a crowd again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That rush is second to none.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, I
yeah,
totally feel you.
yeah. I don't know about you, but like when I go out, even back in the day, and I can say that because I'm almost 40.
That is not all.
It's not. I'm just joking. But back when I was 18, 19 years old, like, you know, I still have fond memories of being up on stage, playing at the House of Blues and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like, I don't remember like looking at the crowd. It's almost like
Mhm.
I was like a ghost, and I was like having an out of body experience, and I was watching myself. So like when I remember
Yeah.
it, like when I remember those days, or even back when I was wrestling, I cannot, I don't ever remember, you know, being in the ring and actually doing these things. I remember like kind of watching myself do it and kind of go through the motions, because there was so much muscle memory involved. And I think then going back and, you know, realizing, hey, holy shit, that was me, is like the greatest feeling in the world. Because like it's, you know, because even whether we realize it or not, every performer, whether you're a comedian, a musician, or an actor, or whatever the case might be, we're all playing a part. You know, yeah, because when you're up on stage, you're not 100%, you know, Ashley Brinton. You're AB up there, and you know,
Yeah.
now while a lot of that does translate to you in the real world, you're still playing a part. So you get, for that time, you get to be somebody else, and
Yeah.
kind of and live out a fantasy. And then, you know, so
Right.
not being able to do that for us, you, and all the comedians and musicians that I've talked to on the show does take a you know, takes a lot out of you.
Mhm. It really does. It really does. But it's such like to me it's like a labor of love, and it's just like it's such like a second nature that I couldn't imagine it like without it. I couldn't imagine myself being without it.
I hear you. So let's talk about some more positive things. So if
Yes.
your record company called you tomorrow
Mhm.
and said, Ashley, you can go ahead and do your next collaboration with anybody in the world,
Mhm.
who would you
Yeah.
be? Who would you choose?
Um The Weekend?
Really?
Yes, 100%, and Bad Bunny. Like two separate songs.
Okay.
Because I just love them so much as artists. Like they've just really like I love all their music. I love all their looks. Like to me, they're the most well-rounded like artists. I love them both so much. Like I look up to them both so much.
The Weeknd kind of surprises me.
Yeah, he's so lit. I love him.
That's an interesting collaboration, I think. But definitely I can see with the other one. That one does make
And
sense.
then maybe if we're on set and he likes me, then we can date.
Ooh. don't you think he's a little old for you?
Maybe, but you know what? A girl can dream, right?
Hey, you've reached one fantasy, might as well go for another, right?
Exactly.
Keep your feet on the ground and your head in the clouds. Just
Yeah.
keep reaching for the stars.
Yeah.
So, but realistically, do you have anybody else that you are getting ready to collaborate with, or anything else coming up, aside from going back on tour?
Yeah, I have a ton of collaborations like in the works. I'm gonna drop a few more singles, and then maybe the album is coming also.
Okay.
Maybe. But I love like dropping singles, and I've just been having so much fun doing it because I'm so like all over the place. Like I'm in love with this project, I'm in love with the song, like I just put it out there and like shoot a cute video, and like that's what I'm really on right now.
Okay. Now, you just said something that I was going to ask you a question on. So, one of my favorite artists is a band called Falling in Reverse, and their lead singer Ronnie Radke came out about a month or two ago and did an interview and said that they're no longer going to release albums. They're just going to release, 5, 6 singles a year. Just when you're starting to miss them, boom, they come out with another one, and then they ride on that train for a little bit, and just when they're starting to miss them, they're gonna drop another one, and they're never gonna drop another album. How do you feel about that? Because you just said that that's what you kind of want to do, but at the same time, you do want to drop your album. So which way do you feel is the better way?
Well, because we're in such a fast-paced, like, moving world right now, like, I think it's totally better to keep people interested by just keep on dropping singles and dropping singles. But personally, like, what I want to do is, like, I want to drop an album, but I want to release each song on the album as a single. So, like, drop a single, drop a single, drop a single, but have them all on one album, just because I've always wanted to do, like, one body of work. But I just love going into the studio and, like, creating new sounds and, like, different vibes. So I think that dropping singles, like, in that sense, like, makes way more sense to me.
I fully agree with you on that, because again, if you drop 10 songs or 12 songs in an album, they listen to it for a month or two, and then they kind of then it goes into their mix, and then they might have listened. Oh, I've listened to this song 1,000 times. Let me skip this. But if you listen to if you bring out that one single at a time, now are each of your songs an individual song, or are you hoping that your whole album tells a story?
For my album, I want it all to tell a story and kind of go through. But for my songs, I think I just consider myself like I have a whole style, and it's like the AB style, Ashley Brinton style. But like each song, like I throw a different flavor in there, and I throw a different mix in there, and I throw a different beat in there, and I throw a different producer, videographer. So it always has like different layers, but at the top and like as a whole, it's still my style. If that makes any sense. Yeah.
No, 100%. But like, what I was asking was like, there's a lot of like, I guess you can call them, I mean, they are what they are. They're called concept records, where, from A to Z, song 1 through song 12 basically tells a novel. A lot of people do that all the time. A lot of people do that sometimes or never do it at all. What are your thoughts on that? And then how do you think that, something like that could incorporate to your music?
Honestly, those are my favorite types of albums. Like everybody who I listen to and like I listen to their album, they're my favorite because I love like hearing the whole like roller coaster of emotions, but all strung together so beautifully. And like I definitely want to do that, but it's like I want people to like read a chapter, wait a month, read another chapter, wait a month, So that's like what I want to do for my personal project because I just think it would be so dope.
So it's funny that you say that again. Yeah, you and I are kind of thinking on the same wavelength. So I'm kind of liking this. This is fun. Even though we're talking about the same thing, but we're talking about it on different genres, and I love it. So and that's one thing I wanted to bring up later, but we'll bring it up. I'll talk about it later. But you just mentioned something that one of my absolute all-time favorite bands does. So it's a band called Coheed and Cambria. Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're fantastic. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta
so you need to look them up because let me tell you, what they do is every single album they put out is a concept record, okay? And it tells a story. But what's cool about them is they also are comic book artists. So their comic books follow along with the actual album. And the song will tell you different like pieces about the comic book that it's missing. And then at the same time, the comic book will elaborate more on the song. So you can listen to the whole album and understand the story. But then if you read the comic book, you'll understand it more. But then at the same time, if you just read the comic book, you'll understand it. But if you listen to it all, if you do it all at once, read a chapter, listen to a song, read a chapter, listen to the song, it brings out so much more. And that's the type of style I love. And like you said, you would love to be able to do that. And that is something that is, definitely something that's really cool.
That's a true artist. Like, honestly, that's a true artist. I'd never even heard something like that. That's so cool.
So again, that name of that band is Coheed and Cambria. The lead singer, his name is, Claudio Sanchez. He's a big old dude, but he's like, has this voice that is angelic. Like you would look at this guy and be like, that voice is coming out of that dude. It's so amazing. It's one of those situations. It's awesome. So, I would definitely check that out. Now what was I going to say? Oh, so with the conversation that we're having, and this is one of the things that I love about music is that, when you take all the bullshit out and you take out the, oh, well, rap is better than rock, or rock is better than rap, or country sucks, or, when you take all that out, there's such a unity involved. Like, I love going to, festivals, or I used to love going to festivals when they fucking existed.
Yeah.
I had so many festival tickets this year that I could not go to. Pisses me off, but whatever.
Oh my God, that's so annoying.
Yeah. So, but when I go to festivals, one thing that I love is that, especially now, this is more important than ever. I look into the crowd of 20, 15, 30,000 people, and you see all walks of life. The rich, see some of the richer people, you see some of the hipster douchebags like me, and then you see some of the poorer people. You see black, you see white, you see, Chinese and Japanese and, Indian, all cultures, all walks of life that come together for this one, unity of music. And music is something that needs to stay around regardless of the genre. But the bullshit needs to go away, or, I'm better than you, or you're better than me, or I'm coming for your fame. All the fucking, diss tracks and all this crap needs to, especially now in these days with this whole Black Lives Matter movement, and then the Me Too movement that's coming back and everything else like that, it just needs to stop. Just because, I'm a metalhead, I have no reason not to talk to you about music. We can still talk music for hours.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we can't. So, and that's why, I wanted to talk to you about. I'm like, why not? Some people kind of like, you want to talk to a rapper? I'm like, yeah, why not? It's music. Yeah. Music is awesome.
Right. And that's something that I wanted to talk about too. It's like, the thing is that there's being such a movement of all people coming together and fighting for what's right, not fighting for just to fight, fighting for justice, fighting for equality, fighting for something that really matters. And I think it's important that we don't stop until we understand that we're all equal. We can all be one. We can all be one, and equality is a very important thing, especially right now. So I think that it's really important that these topics are being brought up, because we need to take a stance, and we need to take a stance for what's right, especially now during these times, and not stop until it is right, until we do have justice, until we do have peace, until we do have equality, true equality, not just oh yeah. So I think that these times are super important, and music can bring us together, because like you were saying, you see all variety, all race, all economic status coming together because of music. Now, if we can really incorporate that into our personal lives, I think that it's going to be a much better society and a much better world. So as long as we keep those things in mind and just keep on pushing forward and really being aware, we can win.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing about it is, from, the middle of March up until the beginning of this month, as the whole world was infected, and we were all unified by this one thing that was terrorizing the world. And then, and even in America, we were all unified together. We all, hey, make sure you put your mask on, or, hey, let's make sure we're social distancing, or whatever the case might be. There was no fighting. There was no nothing. There was, hey, let's all help each other out. Now, granted, there were some greedy assholes who went out and bought all the damn toilet paper, but still, there was that unity. Then at the same time, but then all of a sudden, June hit and shit hit the fan. 4 fucking asshole cops in Minneapolis ruined it for everybody and started this whole movement again, which again needed to happen. But then while that was going on, then, right in the height of it at the beginning of the month, Pride Month kicked in for LGBTQ rights stuff this month. And, the Supreme Court, ruled, hey, you can no longer get, fired for being gay, which is fantastic. But that happened right at the, at the beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement. So it was like, how can we celebrate one without talking about the other? And now coming to the end of the month, all these accusations are coming back up again about, the actors and actresses and, Me Too movements and stuff like that. And now it's like all this stuff. June, they say 2020 has been a bitch. This is gonna be a year we're never gonna forget. But June,
never.
But June itself has taken it to a whole other fucking level.
Yeah.
I mean, so
it really.
How do you feel about when? I guess it's a complicated question, but I'm gonna try to word it the best I can. When we've got multiple things that we're trying to accomplish, whether it be LGBTQ rights or Black Lives movements or rape culture being squashed, that kind of stuff. When it's all happening together at the same time on a public platform like never seen before. How do you feel us as a society should tackle that? Especially someone coming into the entertainment business. I mean, you've got to make sure that you're speaking out against everything, because you want to make sure, especially for Me Too, because of rape culture and stuff like that, especially in the music industry. So, I mean, but at the same time, you're a part of a genre that's highly, Black influenced. And then at the same time, you've got to make sure that your LGBTQ followers are not feeling left out too, because we've got all this stuff going on. So how are you viewing all this stuff right now?
Personally, I think that it starts with the conversation. If you're having the conversation with yourself, with your friends, with your family, and you make sure that you're getting the word out there in a way that's, stand up for what you believe. Like, I don't believe that people should represent what they don't believe in, but you should stand up for what you believe in. You should fight for what you believe in. And you can only do that if you have a group of people that also want change. Like, if you need to make an impact within your community, like your personal community, through social media, and raising awareness is like the most important thing. And personally, like I have a lot of feelings like this. Like, I have a lot of Black friends, and I just see them suffer so much because of the injustice that like other people don't really have to go through. And so it hurts me personally, because I feel bad for them, and I want them to be on the same level. Like, they're we're all the same when you take off everything. We're all the same underneath. And that's why I just don't understand. I don't understand how people don't see equality, because I see it so clearly, and I want to fight for it so hard, and I want to put it in people's faces, and I want to make them feel uncomfortable, and I want to ask them questions, because I need to understand where they're coming from in order to change their minds, and to make sure that we're all being given the same rights. So that's, I think, where the conversation has to start, and you just have to stand up for what you believe in.
For a 19-year-old, you are mature as shit, and I compliment you.
Thank you. And
that's no bullshit. That was probably one of the smartest answers I've heard all week long. That I commend you on.
Thank you.
I mean, you're right. Underneath our skin, we're all the same. I mean, and if to go even further than that, we all share pretty much all the same DNA. I mean, we all came from fucking Africa. Yeah. I mean, all of our aunts at one time, we were all fucking Black.
Exactly.
And we came out of Africa and then evolved into what the different cultures and races that we have today. So at one point in time, one of your ancestors was Black. So how can you? It just
I know for a fact
boggles my mind.
True.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I'm an evolutionist. I understand how that came to be, and I mean, but I mean, and I'm not, and if you believe this, I don't want to, I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but I think a lot of it is religion based. I think a lot of the hate, which is complete fucking irony in me, a lot of the hate in this world comes from religion based thoughts and theories, and it boggles my mind still to this day that we still have religious wars, and we're we're smiting people because of, their culture or who they are because of a religious context. And, there's a lot of good religious people out there, and there's a lot of bad. But at the same time, I think a lot of the negative that comes out is based on that. I mean, do you agree with me on that, or do you think that it's different?
I personally don't agree with you on that, just because I find that sometimes religion brings us together, and a lot of my friends, like Black, part of the LGBTQ, females, we all actually go to church together, and like I feel like it kind of brings us together in a way. I think that maybe just the past views and having, you know, specific people in the past implement thoughts into the younger generations have kind of carried with them. So I don't know if it's necessarily religion or just a certain mentality that people have.
I got you on that. Now I'm very, and anyone that listens to the show has already heard this because I had a 3-hour long discussion with another comedian about this. I'm very anti-religion. I'm not anti-God or anti-Jesus or anti-spirit, spirituality. I'm anti-religion because, religion is man-made because you read the Bible, it's not mentioned at all in there. So I think there's a lot of, man influence, on top of religion. So, and that's why I say, because I mean, religion wasn't created by God, it was created by us humans. So I think that, and that's where I think a lot of the hate does come from, because being a Catholic, you can't do this, you can't do this. Oh, and then in the 16th century, I can't remember the king, but he's like, no, screw this. We're going to do this. We're going to become Protestants. And now we're Protestants. And then, no, we're not going to do this. And now we're going to come to America. And now we're going to be Baptists.
Right.
And we're not going to, you see what I'm saying? And that's where I kind of, so I think that's my mentality on it. But I think at the same time, we need to drop just all of that and just grab each other's hand, whether you're 850 miles away or 5 feet away, grab each other's hand and just say, I fucking love you. We are fucking in this together. Let's rise up, stand united, and fix the problems in this country. And it's not just Black Lives Matter. It's not just LGBTQ rights. It's not just Me Too and rape culture. It's all of it. We're so fucked up.
Yeah.
And what do you think? I mean, what do you think it's going to take for eventually to and not all of it's going to end overnight. And it might not even end in my life. It might not even end in our lifetime. But what do you think it's eventually going to take within, and at some point, maybe in your children's lifetime, maybe my children's lifetime, maybe we'll see change at that point. And then we'll be up there partying in heaven and be like, finally, fuck, this is great. But at the same time, what do you think it's eventually going to take to happen?
I think it's going to take the old mentality of being so divided. I think it's going to take the younger generation to really stand up and, change. Just if you change people's mentality over time, it's going to create a better society. And once that happens, once we weed out all the people who are like, no, this is structure and we're rigid and we need division, those people aren't going to be around anymore to tell the younger generation what to do. And I think that's what it's going to take. Honestly, I don't think that I think that people who are too stuck in their ways aren't going to change.
You're absolutely right. And because the thing about it is we still do have a lot of our elderly citizens that were around during the days of segregation and, all the I can't talk today. The rights, stuff that happened in the 50s and 60s, so I mean, so what I hate to say it this way, when they die off, maybe things will change, but at the same time, that would be like include my dad and shit. So, so I'm not saying that at all, but what I'm saying is you are right. I think it's going to take, again, not even my generation or yours. I think it's going to be the next generation after us. That's finally going to say enough is enough. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Just enough is enough. Yeah.
you know, and this pains me to say, but I have a daughter your age. I have an 18-year-old. And
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's so much fun.
Okay. No, it's not. Because that just means that I have a daughter that's an adult. That's a scary fucking thing. I procreated an adult. So I was able to manage to raise someone from this little big to this little big, and that scares me. Especially knowing that she's exactly like me. She's like my identical twin. Her and I are like, we
Oh my
are
God, that's so
it's
fun.
it's ridiculous. Her and I are actually feuding right now, to be totally honest with you. But so but at the same time, it's like, you know, I see my daughter in you, which again, I hate saying that because it makes me sound so old.
No.
I know, but still. And you know, the mentality that you have is the same mentality that she has. So that gives me hope for the future.
Yeah, because
Because
you
that means
taught
that,
her, and I bet you had conversations, and you
well,
raised her well,
my
and that's
daughter's
why.
actually a lesbian. She's gay. And to
Yeah,
show how much I was like, you know, supported her because she came out last year. I knew forever.
yeah.
I knew since she was like 10 that she was gay. And when she came out last year, she comes up to me, she goes, Dad, mom, Dad, and you know, she calls my wife her stepmom mom as well. She goes, I just want to let
Yeah.
you know that you know, I'm gay. And I'm like, yeah, I've known for years. And then she goes, why the fuck didn't you tell me? I'm like, I did tell you. You just didn't listen. She goes, I thought you were kidding. So that was a
That's
running.
hilarious.
Yeah, that was
That's
a running
so
joke in the house.
funny.
But back in December on her 18th birthday, I took her out and got her first tattoo. It was actually a
Yeah.
gay pride tattoo,
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
actually her and I actually got matching tattoos. It's a gay pride symbol that says love.
Oh, that's so
So
sweet.
I'm one of like maybe 10 straight men in the entire world that's straight that has a gay pride tattoo, and I take a lot of pride in that. But
I love it.
that shows, you know, that I did you know, because my daughter's been saying the same crap that you're saying, and that means that your parents did the right things. I did the right things, and hopefully, you know, your generation initiates that change, and then your kids and her kids, and you know, everybody else that's that same age, you know, class of 2020, class of 2019, whatever you want to say, you know,
Yeah.
stands up and says, okay, I need you to fix this before I die.
Yeah.
Fix this. And I think that with the mentality that you have, if you continue that and you continue to preach that through your music and through your fans, you know, you're going to help bring that change. And I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, we're all one. We're all one. This new generation is just one, you know, and we just need to keep on fighting for what we believe in.
100%. 100%. So, when are you planning on releasing your next single?
That's a good question. I'm really fucking with Nobody right now. Like, it's just my favorite song, my favorite video. So I want that to ride out for a little bit. But I definitely have songs in the work. Like, I just did like a little live performance that I dropped on like my YouTube, and that has my new single that's coming out soon. It's just a little taste of it just to get everybody excited, but I'm definitely going to drop it in the next couple months, and I'm doing a really dope video for that one too. So
All right, well, do you want to play Nobody right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. Let me pull it up real quick. And let's drop it for everybody here to listen to. I've listened to it. It's pretty fucking catchy. So let's bring that up. No problem. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and do it.
That was so lit.
Damn, good job.
Thank you.
That was a great song.
Thank you.
So you proved my point tonight, and I want to go ahead and say that. That song was super vulgar, sexual, and the whole 9 yards. But yet, the entire time we've been talking, I've probably dropped the fuck word, 50 times, and you haven't dropped not even shit or hell at all. So that just shows that, you are that character, but at the same time, you're real right now. And that is a true person. Because in the wrestling world, we have something called kayfabe. Okay. So in kayfabe is basically when you're out in the real world, you're acting as that character because you want people to believe you're that asshole or you're that hero or whatever the case might be. But, in the real world, whether you're a musician or an actor, whatever the case might be, you're not always that person up on stage, and sometimes you wanted to have you want to have fun. Like, to be totally honest with you, I mean, as a comedian, I tell rape jokes. I mean, I do, but I don't like it, but I think they're funny because I know that I'm making fun of it at the same time. So, I mean, you talking about how your pussy's so great but you ain't getting none of it, I mean, it's a true testament to who you are that you can do that, but then come on my show for the last hour and be the real Ashley, talk about, about being real and being true to yourself and, being an activist, or at least, an activist on the show right now for everybody that, that's been hurt or, discriminated against or whatever the case might be. And then at the same time, that line.
Yeah.
And that is a true testament to who you are as a person and your real character. So my hat's off. Well, my beanie off to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No problem. I mean, again, it's a tough world out there. And I think that you're doing a great job at it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I've had so much fun on this show. Honestly, it's been really great.
Well, make sure you go on the, on your Insta machine and promote it.
Of course.
It's going live on podcasting tomorrow, even though we're live on Twitch and Facebook right now. Tomorrow going to Spotify and everywhere else that we get. So, Ashley, I appreciate you taking your Friday night, or I mean, you're not really doing anything else because nobody can. But I appreciate you taking your Friday night and talking to me. It's been an honor and a privilege to getting to know you. So. Thank you very much for being who you are, and continue to be positive and be that that inspiration to your fans.
Thank you so much. I definitely will.
All right. Well, I'll be looking for your new album, your new single when it comes out here in the next few months, and I'll definitely be plugging you on social media here the next few days too. So
thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now. What a cool chick. To be totally honest with you, I mean, I was kind of worried the last few days, how am I going to, especially with Nicole not being here. I was like, what am I going to talk to this girl about? I mean, and I've been racking my brain. I've been doing some studying on her and stuff like that. And at that point I was like, you know what? That's not who I am. Hold on, I got a message from Kat. Everyone saying, "Oh, we miss you, Kat." But it's just it was one of those situations to where I at that point I said, I'm going to go back to the what this show was originally based on. I'm not going to have preempted questions. I'm not going to try to stick to a certain flow of interviewing. I just wanted to be real and kind of keep the conversation going. And then so it looks like Twitch just kicked us off because of playing that song. God damn it. I'll have to fight that one. But I will submit a dispute. But anyway, so it looks like we still have somebody on Facebook, so that's good. That pisses me off. It's an interview show, people. Got to promote the freaking artist. Duh. But anyway, that just, again, I went back to that whole original, thing about, just being true to myself, like she was talking about, and talking about how, it's one of those situations to where I just was like, I'm going to go with the flow. Because again, it is what it is. But I'll worry about this later. But anyway, so enough about that. It's been an interesting week. I had 5 great guests. Monday we talked to Chef Rondino. Tuesday we talked to April Doyle. Wednesday we talked to Terrence Patterson. Last night I talked to Kid Capri, and then tonight I talked to Ashley. It's been a fun week. And it's only going to get better from here. So a couple of things I want to announce. For those of you in the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia area, on July 25th, pending, everything COVID wise stays the same, we will be putting on a comedy show at Sibling Rivalry Brewery in Winchester. So that's coming up soon. And on that day, this is where it gets cool. They're actually making Suck It IPA. It's going to be so we're getting our own beer. How fucking cool is that shit? So Suck It IPA is coming soon. To at least the Northern Virginia area, exclusively available from Sibling Rivalry Brewery. So a shout out to them. Kyle is a big listener and owner of that brewery, so shout out to them. But it's going to be a citra hopped orange grapefruit hazy IPA. It's going to be fucking badass. So I'm looking forward to that. I got a fucking beer named after the show, which is kind of fucking cool. And then there's some other stuff coming up really kind of cool. So, guys, stay tuned for even more fun filled adventures, because this shit is only going to get bigger. The live streaming stuff needs to, evolve, and we're going to get there. But you know what? Still get 7,000 listeners a day on the old podcast machine. So that's good. But now we just need to figure out how to translate this, podcast into the live streaming as well. And that's where you guys come in. So please make sure that you subscribe, like, share, comment on our live streams. We're pretty much going 5 days a week now, 8 o'clock Monday through Friday. On the East, 5 o'clock on the West. So we got, a lot of cool stuff coming up next week. I'll make the announcement on Instagram later tonight. I know next Thursday and Friday, we've got 2 cast members from the new movie Mighty Oak coming on. That's going to be a fun one. And then Tuesday, we have rapper Chef Sean. Then a couple other ones. I have to look at the schedule, but we've got another fun-filled week again next week. And then I'm not sure what's going on in 2 weeks, but I know the middle of July, we got a whole slew of stuff going on. So this month is going to be, we're ending it great next week, and then we're going to kick off July with a bang. So I hope you guys stick around for that. And stick around for what's to come, because it's only going to get better from here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you this week with this message. For those of you guys who know, I've had 2 neck surgeries, and this week I hurt my neck again, and nothing bone related. I think it was just muscular, but it messed me up mentally. Because it's just one of those things. Like, it's been like a little over a year since my surgery. I thought things were going well, and then one thing led to another, and I tweaked my neck. And thank God I was just muscular and not, had nothing to do with the surgery. It's just, just my neck being, my neck. And it messed me up mentally because I'm like, damn, I'm almost 40. If I'm still doing this now, how am I going to be at 60, in 20 years? In 20 years, I'm going to be 60 years old. Fuck. But, how am I going to be able to survive that? And, it brought me to a place that I didn't want to be at this week. And it sucks. But, I know that I'm going to be able to get through it. And as much as the pains, it's pain, the pain in my neck right now is happening. I've got some roll-on pain reliever and stuff like that. I know that it's going to, it's not going to last forever. So with that being said, regardless of whether it's a pain that you never think you're going to get over, or whether it's a, just a bad day that you never think you're going to come back from, we're stronger than we think. And it's always better to push through than to give up. Back in my wrestling days, one of the personal trainers I had that helped me in the gym every day used to tell me, if it doesn't hurt, it ain't worth the work. And that's true in life as well. It's kind of like that whole no pain, no gain, but that's a little bit different. But if it don't hurt, it ain't working. And that's the truth. So in life, in the gym, whatever the case might be, push through. I said this before, but Walt Disney said, keep moving forward. And that's true with, life as well. Just keep moving forward. So that's what I'm going to leave you with this week. Guys, it's been a great fucking week. And next week is going to be another fucking good one. And I hope that you come check it out and, live the Suck It experience. So for myself, for Nicole over in LA doing her thing, then her going on vacation next week. So I'll be by myself all next week again. So that'll be fun. So you just get this beautiful mug and this awesome voice that I have. I bid you guys adieu. I will see you on Monday. Same Twitch time, same Twitch channel. And have a great fucking night. Love you guys. Peace.